I want to just jump ahead and ask you about the role of complementary medicine.
Yes.
Because I'm sure in your many studies where you've already investigated it,
Yeah.
you know, I have a lot of respect for alternative and complementary approaches, but sometimes the medications can interfere with the clearance or metabolism of the drugs that we use to treat cancer. Ergo, alcohol very often can interfere with liver function, and it could also cause toxicity if you happen to be on drugs like abiraterone. So, thoughts at all? I mean, sometimes people think the more holistic things they take, the better it is. They're really building up their immune system, and that somehow tweaks a chord of misery in me, because everybody seems to think that all these drugs work on the immune system, and they do indirectly, but don't expect your B cells and T cells to improve because you're taking a litany of drugs that I can't even pronounce.
Well, they've done that with vitamins. If you remember, people were years ago very much into taking vitamins, and now there's been a complete turnabout on vitamins too, saying that people are getting problems with too many vitamins and certain ADT, et cetera. But you know what I did was, particularly when after the radiation, I was on a different increased number of pills, and so I had my box with all the compartments and so forth to make sure that I, follow through very carefully, because your staff and the radiology staff were very exacting on, you need to take this at this time, you need to do this. So it's all very easy to follow the rules. But the catch is that I also used an app to remind me to make sure that I got all my pills on time. Even if I'd missed it, the app tells you, wait, you can't have grapefruit juice with this, and you can't take the aspirin near your prednisone, and et cetera, et cetera. So the app will catch you if you start to goof. And so to your point, for the basic thing, the rubric of taking all your pills and so forth and make sure that you get it right pills, right time, and then you have the overlay of the other things. Well, I want to take this too, et cetera. It's worth reading the materials that come with these drugs, because, oh, I shouldn't be drinking grapefruit juice because it'll bind something. And hey, guess what? I need to take my statins. Well, guess what? You don't want to take your statins anywhere near calcium, because it will inactivate them. So there's all these different things. So I have to make sure that I take my statins at a time when, don't take those right next to my calcium supplement that I take every day. So now, going off the regular drugs and getting on to people's own approach to taking things, just what I mentioned is just taking the regular medications and getting ducks in a row and making sure that it works properly with your food. I've taken the approach of the other is that if I'm tempted to do something, I'm going to go look it up on the MSK other drugs site, because so many of these things have been addressed. Should you do this? There's no experiments on it. This one, yeah, I'll tell you, the one I was interested in is every once in a while, instead of just drinking water all the time, I thought, I'd like to have maybe some cardamom and cinnamon in my tea. Instead of, I just drink a cup of hot water. So I went straight to the Sloan Kettering site to read about, is there anything known about cardamom being a problem? Does it interact with anything? How about cinnamon, right?
I'm going to go to you next time.
So then I went to a couple of other places and then just read about them and said, no, hey, guess what? I can have, for my situation with the drugs that I'm taking, that's the asterisk, I can take those things. And so I do it periodically. But I got to tell you, so I mentioned earlier that because of the drugs that I'm taking right now, constipation is something you have to watch. Guess what cardamom does? Cardamom soothes the GI system. So part of what I have to do to make my system work is a senna at the end of the day. So if I have a nice cup of my wonderful cardamom tea in the evening, and then I go around and take the senna won't work, because the cardamom has already calmed the GI system down, so you can't irritate it with the senna. So all of these things play well together, and here's something you can say, well, they come in and the person is miserable and they're constipated and they can't figure out why. Well, they started drinking cardamom tea and it's not listed on any site, non-tea.
It's very beneficial to know.
And I love it, but I just learned not to have it anywhere near my senna. So I've taken that approach with other drugs that people offer me, and yeah, most of the time I just blame you. I just tell them my oncologist would not approve of that. So I cheat. But I think people really need to be very careful about what they put in their bodies. And if it's something and they're in a somewhat complex therapy that some of these are, why would you take a chance with your health and just take something because someone said it's going to help you? If it really helps, everyone would be taking it.